Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. And welcome back to another Q&A Wednesdays. I am your host, Intelexx. And before we jump in, just a couple of announcements. But as y'all are coming in, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Shout out to you who are watching me live. And shout out to you who are watching the replay. Either way, we appreciate your support. All right, so if you have a brand or business and you need any assistance with anything, connect with us today. Go to Intelexx.com. See all that we have to all that aligns with you and your vision to connect, collab, share content, and be in an intimate, safe space with other creatives. Join our app, the Artrepreneurs Hub, a place for you to be your unique artistic self, to where you can just share and be you and do you and connect with others who are on the same path as you. All right, so we're going to jump on in. If you are new here, welcome. If you've been here, you already know what it is. Okay, so we're going to jump in to the topic. If you've missed any section, any part of this series, you can go back to our app or YouTube channel to check out the replays. All right. So we're going to focus on how can we overcome emotions, part 8. Is that even possible? Can we overcome our emotions? Can we master them, or are they going to be a master of us? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comment section if you're watching this later on, or even after this live is over, right? Go to the comment section and share your thoughts there as well. But I want to know, how can you overcome your emotions? How have you in the past? How are you in the future? So while you're thinking about that, let's hop into this first message.
You and your friend need to ace Friday's exam to avoid summer class. You and your friend need to ace Friday's exam to avoid summer classes. And after a week of studying, you both feel confident that you pulled it off. But when you get your grades back, they're much lower than the two of you expected. You're devastated. However, your friend doesn't seem too bothered, and it's making you wonder why you can't shake this off like they can. But should you really be trying to look on the bright side? And is controlling our emotions even possible in the first place? The answer to the last question is a definitive yes. There are numerous strategies for regulating our emotions, and one framework to understand these techniques is called the process model. Psychologists use this tool to identify where and how to intervene in the process that forms our emotions. That process has 4 steps. First, we enter a situation, real or imagined, and that draws our attention. Then we evaluate or appraise the situation and whether it helps or hinders our goals. Finally, this appraisal leads to a set of changes in how we feel, think, and behave, known as an emotional response. Each step of this process offers an opportunity to consciously intervene and change our emotions, and the process model outlines what strategies we might try at each phase. To see this in action, let's imagine you've been invited to the same party as your least favorite ex and their new partner. Your first strategy could be avoiding the situation altogether by skipping the party. But if you do attend, you could also try modifying the situation by choosing not to interact with your ex. If that's proving difficult, you might want to shift your attention, maybe by playing a game with your friends rather than focusing on your ex's new partner. Another option would be to reevaluate how you think about the situation. After seriously reappraising things, you might realize that you don't care who your ex dates. If none of these strategies work, you can always try tempering your emotional response after the fact. But this can be tricky. Many of the easiest ways to do this, like hiding your emotions or trying to change them with recreational drugs, generally lead to more negative feelings and health concerns in the long term. More sustainable strategies here include going for a long walk, taking slow, deep breaths, or talking with someone in your support system. While using all these strategies well takes practice, learning to notice your emotions and reflect on where they're coming from is half the battle. And once you've truly internalized that you can regulate your emotions, doing so becomes much easier. But should you use these techniques to constantly maintain a good mood? That answer depends on how you define what makes a mood good. It's tempting to think we should always try to avoid sadness and frustration, but no emotion is inherently good or bad. They're either helpful or unhelpful, depending on the situation. For example, if a friend is telling you about the loss of a loved one, feeling and expressing sadness isn't just appropriate, it can help you empathize and support them. Conversely, while it's unhealthy to regularly ignore your emotions, forcing a smile to get through a one-time annoyance is perfectly reasonable. We hear a lot of mixed messages about emotions. Some pressure us to stay upbeat, while others tell us to simply take our emotions as they come. But in reality, each person has to find their own balance. So, if the question is, should you always try to be happy? The answer is no. Studies suggest that people fixated on happiness often experience secondary negative emotions like guilt or frustration over being upset and disappointment that they don't feel happier. This doesn't mean you should let sadness or anger take over, but strategies like reappraisal can help you reevaluate your thoughts about a situation, allowing you to accept that you feel sad and cultivate hope that things will get better. If someone told you not to do something, would that make you want to do it? Learn about what psychologists refer to as the Romeo and Juliet effect with this video, or get more actionable science-based advice on how to build character at ed.ted.com/build character.
All right. We are going to talk about that in just a second. But I have another message for you. Hold on to your thoughts. Hold on to your pens and your papers and all your notes that you got that you want to share. I know they were dropping some good ones, but we're going to go through it at the end. So check out this next message.
How can emotional intelligence stop overwhelming emotions? Imagine feeling overwhelmed by your feelings and not knowing how to handle them. It can make you feel out of control and stressed. But what if you had a tool that could help you manage those emotions before they take over? That's where emotional intelligence comes in. It's a set of skills that help you recognize and understand your feelings and respond to them in a healthy way. When you develop emotional intelligence, you learn to notice your emotions as they happen. For example, if you start feeling angry or anxious, you can catch that feeling early. This is called self-awareness. It's like having a mental alarm that goes off when emotions start to rise. Once you're aware, you can use self-regulation to control your reactions. Instead of yelling or shutting down, you might take a few deep breaths or step away for a moment. This pause helps prevent your emotions from spiraling out of control. Emotional intelligence also helps you stay motivated. When you understand your feelings, you can use that knowledge to focus on your goals, even when emotions are intense. For instance, if you're frustrated with a project, recognizing that frustration allows you to shift your mindset and keep moving forward. Empathy is another key part. When you understand how others feel, it reduces misunderstandings and conflicts that can add to your emotional overload. Having good social skills is also important. Clear communication and healthy relationships create a supportive environment. This reduces emotional triggers and helps you stay balanced. From a coaching point of view, building these skills takes practice. Techniques like mindfulness, reflective questions, and real-life exercises help you get better at managing your feelings. You can start by pausing and asking yourself what you are feeling before reacting. Using simple grounding methods like deep breathing or counting to 10 can calm your mind. Reframing negative thoughts into more positive ones reduces emotional charge. Practicing empathy helps you see things from others' perspectives, which can lessen conflicts. Setting goals that match your core values keeps you motivated and focused, even during emotional storms. By strengthening your emotional intelligence, you turn overwhelming feelings into signals that guide you, not control you. It's about creating space between feeling and reacting. This way, you can handle tough moments with more calm and clarity. Over time, this skill helps you stay centered, make better choices, and move closer to your personal and professional goals.
All right. Yeah, y'all feeling it? Y'all feeling it? Okay. It was a lot of things that was talked about in both of these short videos, but sometimes less is more. Uh, okay. So if you can get that message in within a couple minutes time, you good to go. But with that first message that we got, right, it really focused on how when it comes to you being in your emotions actively, there are different ways to calm yourself down, or even ways that you can kind of shift your focus to where you don't even care. Listen, water under the bridge, like the example that was given was if you run into an ex and you're in the same place as them and they moved on with someone else, will that bother you? Will it make you upset? Will you have different emotions? How are you going to respond to that? Right? Different ways you can remove yourself from that situation. You can think about it differently. In the other video, how when you regulate your emotions, you improve your emotional intelligence. And when you regulate those emotions, you won't always respond emotionally. Because a lot of times, we got to be honest with ourselves, whenever we respond emotionally, it is always an issue. It's always a regret. It's always a mistake. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have did this. You know what I mean? Somebody burning somebody else's house down, or throwing their stuff out of the window, or smashing in tires and cars, slashing tires, smashing windows, all the things, right? You might feel good in that moment. Some people don't regret it at all. But most people will be like, right? But when you do the act, there's going to be things that will tick you off. It's going to be things that's going to try to get that response out of you. But the more that you have that skill, when it comes to being around triggers, you won't get triggered. You won't get triggered when someone tries to trigger them. Because you have those coping skills and mechanisms in place to from you how do you overcome your emotions? There's different things. I can only speak for me. There's different things that have happened in my life to where certain things can become triggers for me, but I know what my triggers are, right? So if somebody says something that they know will upset me, my response is silence, or I'm walking away. I'm just changing my environment because I don't want to say anything and I don't want to do anything that I will regret later. You know what I mean? I have things to lose. I have, a life to think about. I have family to think about. Like, it's not just about me. You know what I mean? So every decision that I make ultimately affects those that are connected to me. So I'm not just thinking about me in that moment. I'm like, is it really worth it? You know what I mean? I work. I have a business. I do different things for different people. I'm not going to go down the list, but all of these things will be affected if I were to act this way. So instead of jeopardizing what I have going on, possibly getting something on my record, for reacting emotionally, I'm just going to walk away, or I'm not going to say anything, or I will laugh it off. So that just goes to show you that everything does not deserve a response, and not responding is a response. Don't let somebody get under your skin. You have the power to control your emotions, and as soon as you allow somebody to get under your skin, you have handed over that power to them. Learn how to manage those emotions. Listen, overcome them by mastering them, not allowing them to master you. Okay? I can go on, but I'm trying to give like a specific example. Like, there's certain names that I don't like to be called, and it's not like anything derogatory or anything like that. Of course, none of that either. But there are certain names that people might think are okay. And I'm like, don't call me that. Somebody might say it knowing that I don't like that. My response previously was, you know, get real emotional, be ready to go from 0 to 100 real quick, right? Now it's more of a, okay, you say it one time, I'm gonna give you a reminder. I don't like that. Please don't say that to me. If they do it again, oh, we have a problem. And I'm going to tell you about yourself in a respectful way. If they do it again, I'm out. Right? So, first step, letting you know my boundaries. The second, reminding you, listen, I don't tolerate that. Do not say that. Do it again, I'm exiting the environment, because at this point you're being disrespectful, and I'm not going to respond with disrespect to your disrespect, because that's going to get me into a world of trouble. So instead of responding that way, I just remove myself altogether, or I say what I need to say to them in a respectful way, but let them know I don't tolerate that and I will not tolerate that from you. And you know make my way out. But it's all about how you do things. The delivery makes all the difference, because you could be right and your delivery's off and the message will not be received. So just learning how to really navigate those emotions and really feel them while you are in them, and really just have emotional intelligence so that you can overcome those emotions. All right. So I hope you got something from this. That's all the time I have for you today. I want you to remember that you are uniquely designed and one of a kind. So don't let anybody stop your shine. Make sure to drop those comments. And until next time, I will see you on our next segment. Have an amazing day and an awesome rest of your week. Intelexx here, and welcome to Intelexx Artrepreneur Agency, the Indeed for Artists. If you want to be a part of the intellectual community, check us out. We have so much going on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and everywhere in between. And we even got our own app, okay? So make sure to check us out. Go to Intelexx.com. Go to our link tree. Look us up on social media at Intelexx APC so that we can best serve you. All right, we thank you so much for being a part of our vision. We appreciate you, and we wouldn't be here without all of our amazing subscribers and supporters. Don't forget to sign up for the talent show every month, and someone always leaves with a prize. And don't forget to take advantage of all of our special offers, our events, our merch, our resources, our referrals, because we are here to serve you, okay? And thank you for the love. Until next time.